We're going to begin now with an invocation. And invocation is our opportunity to set aside the busyness of the day, the thoughts of the day, the concerns and worries, and let ourselves be open to inspiration, open to learn, open to experience our oneness with that infinite, all that is, that we sometimes call God. So join with me in prayer. This is what I know. I know that there's an infinite creative energy that is in all and through all, a life force inside a seed that causes it to break open and sprout and blossom and grow and bear fruit. The energy in the waves of the ocean flowing, the energy that is within each one of us, enlivening us, a love that surrounds us and enfolds us, a generous self-givingness that gives us all we need and all we're ready to accept. In this knowing, from this place of knowing, I declare that our time together tonight unfolds perfectly, that each person listening now or in the future hears what they need to hear, awakes to that which they need to know and remember, and is strengthened in letting go of that which no longer serves them, is ready for newness, for exploration, for an experience of joy. I give thanks for this time together. I know all is well. And I say, and so it is. So, more than 10 years ago now, an amazing woman named Reverend Connie Phelps heard the call that she was to go to Africa. She'd never been there before. She didn't know anyone there. But with courage and excitement and expectation, she went to Africa. She went to Kenya, and she began to teach and teach science of mind principles. And as she did this, more and more people were drawn to her to learn these principles, these transformative new ways of looking at life and what's possible. Now, the title of my talk tonight is Frogs. And the reason I chose that is because Reverend Connie loved frogs. She collected frogs. She had ceramic frogs and stuffed frogs and pictures of frogs. And the reason she loved frogs is that for her it was an acronym, and an acronym that she used in her teaching to remind us all. And for her, frog stood for full realization of God. And that was her purpose, that was her mission, to experience the full realization of God, to let God express through her, to grow into her God self, and to teach others and to share with others what that meant, what that looked like. We see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with his or her highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other, a world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. As you can see, this particular statement in our global vision has two parts. Just like everything we do in life does, there's an inner and there's an outer. We have our inner work, which is when we are transforming ourselves, we're changing our thoughts, when we're releasing those distorted thoughts that no longer serve us and opening to the truth, That's the inner work, our work of forgiveness, our work of knowing, forgiving ourselves and others. That's all inner work. And then there's the outer work. Going out into the world, feeding the hungry, helping find houses, tools for those who are without them, going to Kenya and providing uniforms for the children in the slum school, paying their school fees, supporting the teaching in Kenya that is the way for people to break out of a history of poverty and sometimes limited thinking. So always we're looking at the inner and the outer. The inner is the awakening. The outer is doing what we're called to do. Now here's the second one that we're going to look at today, one that I also really love. We envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought. A world where each and every person discovers his or her own personal power and ability to create an individual life that works within a world that works for everyone. So again, you see the inner and the outer. So as we're looking at this, it just makes sense to me that as we're looking at our global vision, a world that works for everyone, that we look at what we're doing. And that involves our sister center, the community that is Center for Spiritual Living Kenya. Reverend Connie was such an example of this, doing her inner work to listen, to open herself, to be willing to go where Spirit led her, to follow her intuition. And then the outer work, going to the slum school, teaching there, teaching the classes, touching the lives of those people who were ready and eager to learn. So our center has actually supported CSL Kenya almost from the beginning, actually even before it was CSL Kenya. There was much work and much teaching and expansion done before it was actually recognized as a center, which happened in early 2020. So as we think about that, we come to this metaphor of climbing a mountain. Connie liked this metaphor, and there are many things that are similar when we take on this challenge of creating a world that works for everyone and the process of climbing a mountain. So it may start with an idea. I would like to do that. Then it might become more specific. I would like to climb that particular mountain. Then there's a preparation time of strengthening ourselves, training, getting strong enough. Then there's actually starting off, taking the first step. And then there's accepting the support of other people around you to make it possible to do what you've set out to do. So, and then there's the not giving up, no matter how difficult it seems. So recently, one of the members of the congregation in Kenya shared with some of us her personal experience of taking on climbing mountains in Kenya and the surrounding areas, and what she personally learned from this experience, and how this relates to all of us and our lives. I asked her if I could have her permission to share this story with you so that you could be as moved and inspired by it as I was. And she graciously said, Yes, of course. So let's listen to Anne from Kenya tell us her personal story about overcoming challenges, taking on that which seems very difficult, and her success. This is Anne.
She is one of our incredible congregants in this community, a bright light shining, and she has come to share with you today. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Anne Mingi.
Thank you, everyone. Hi, froggies. So, I'll be talking about my mountaineering adventures. So why do I hike? I normally call myself the reluctant hiker because, again, hiking is a bag of mixed treats. It can be a very physical, strenuous exercise and also a trip to experience nature and amazing views from above. So I began hiking seriously in the year 2016 after joining a group at that time. So that first hike was extremely difficult. It was a hill called Elephant Hill in the Aberdares. And let me just say, things were elephants. So my body ached for an entire week, and I realized that I needed to build my physical body to continue not only to hike, but to live a healthy life. And that has always been my mission. So when hiking, you meet like-minded strangers who become friends. We laugh, take photos, we walk side by side. And the rule of the hikes is leave no man or woman behind. So we respect nature. We leave the environment intact or better than you found it. So if there's a plastic bottle around, we pick it, take it with you, and trash it on the way out. We respect each other's pace. Others are faster than others, while others are quite slow. So for the slow team, they're encouraged to avoid rushing to the summit. Otherwise, they'll run out of steam. And for the fast crew who are unable to walk slowly, because again, they run out of steam. So the rules of the mountain or the hikes are find your own pace. So my personal goal each year is to summit a mountain. And I have successfully climbed Mount Kenya 3 times, Mount Meru in Tanzania, and recently the Rwenzori Mountains in Uganda. So thank you for the photos. So I go to the mountains that have called me. I don't go to mountains that have not called me. And these 3 mountains called me. And each mountain brings its own unique beauty and lessons, which I cherish to date. So as hikers, we pray to the mountain and the journey before us. Each day we close our prayer with, may the mountain, may we love the mountain, and may the mountain love us back. So I have come to realize that mountaineers are mostly believers of a higher being. We climb to connect with our Creator and ourselves. We bring our challenges and fears to the mountain and leave healed and stronger. At the mountain, we always walk at the pace the mountain has set for us and not the other way around. When she says slow down, you slow down. When she gives you the go-ahead to speed up, you speed up. The slowest in the group is usually the pacemaker, so to allow the group to move together. If the slowest is left behind, they'll give up very easily. So the Rwenzori Mountains, where I was last month, are also suspected to be the source of the Nile. Are in, Reverend Gwen, you asking where they are. They are in Western Uganda at the border of the Congo and Uganda. So the Rwenzoris are several mountains within the range, and the highest peak is called Margarita, standing at 5,109 meters. So this is the highest I've ever been. The mountain has the last of the African glaciers. She's also known as the Mountains of the Moon and the African Alps. And the local Uganda name Rwenzori means the rainmaker. So every day we were rained on. It rained and rained, but we accepted it. Most climbs normally take a maximum of 5 days, but this one took us 7 days. It normally takes 7 to 10 days. It took 7 days. It's very technical with a lot of rock climbing and rope work, to which I did some training before I went. And we're a small team of 5, mostly strangers. We became friends on the first day, which was a very unique experience. So aside from my body being tested beyond its limits, my mind is usually what pushes me through the boundaries of endurance. This time, guess what? My mind quit on me somewhere on day 5 on a rock. I collected my mind on the same rock on my way back. So the final camp before summit, we saw the full moon rise. It was a huge surprise. It was a full moon. It was large and orange, rising above the mountain. I mean, it was an honor to be on the mountains of the moon on a full moon. So at that moment, I felt I needed to do a meditation. I went out on my own, did a meditation facing the full moon, and it was glorious. At that moment, I felt larger than life, one with the universe, one with the mountain. And normally, myself and most hikers feel small in comparison with nature in the mountain, but not this time. I was aware my creator had created me in equal measure with everything that was around. And that thought was amazing and beautiful and very, very humbling. So this moment revealed that my small self was not present. I was face to face with my being. So on summit night is the epitome of every climber. It's what we have all worked hard for months to accomplish. Everyone's vision is on the summit. Everyone's collective achievements on this day are geared towards the summit. So I volunteered to pray and did my treatment for all of us that night. And my treatment was, we are one with the mountain. We are safe. We are loved by the mountain. We love each other as a team, and we are supported in every step of the way. That was quite powerful because that prayer did manifest that day, and we set off to meet our objective. So another funny story is, on each climb on summit night, I usually call upon Jesus to help me when my spirit has given up and I've broken down to a point of helplessness. Always Jesus comes to help me and pushes me to the summit. At Renzori, I called upon Jesus. He told me, I'm on my own. I chose to come here. I can continue on my own. Like, oh my God, this was shattering. He normally carries me to the top. So the final, getting to the final glacier to the summit, it was a very steep incline. Our feet were going knee deep into the snow with each step. It was brutal. I collapsed on the snow. I gave up. Like, now Jesus has refused. Now who do I call upon? So I called upon the spirits of my friends, my children, my husband for strength. They came through and they continued with me for another 2 hours. And as I was doing my final ascent to Margarita, my spirit guides left me and said, now you're on your own, continue. I was totally out of juice. And I said, now who do I call upon? I remembered I still have my higher self, the self that I met at the full moon when I was doing my meditation. So I called upon my higher self, and that's what pushed me to the summit. We were 5 of us, only 2 of us managed to summit. So those are my pictures there. So when looking at this photo, at the board that said, congratulations, you're the highest peak of the Rwenzori Mountains, I was overcome by anger, jubilation, pride, despair, and something else. I had unlocked a potential I never knew existed within my spirit. And that awareness scared me. I'm telling you all, that scared me completely. So I told myself, let me close that door for a second. I'll come back and deal with that revelation later. So we summited at 5:45 p.m., which is unlike any climb we have attempted, because normally summit is usually at dawn where everyone gets to see the sunrise. But instead, we experienced a sunset summit. It was magical. So the Sunset Summit deconstructed what I've always known about summiting. There is no rush to summit. Each journey is unique, and to respect the outcomes that I partake. My journey is my own. I don't need to compare my journey with another. I'll arrive when I'll arrive. So we all know what goes up must come down. It took another 10 hours from the summit to the camp. That was a 20-hour day getting to the summit. Nothing we've ever experienced before, but we managed. 2 days later, we exited the gate of the mystical mountain that gave us a mystical challenge. So with each climb, stuff continues to come up-to-date stuff continues to come up. Mountains transform people. I have transformed. I reflect and act on who I was at that peak. I look at the pictures and realize the precarious danger that was all around it. I came back whole and unharmed. I always underestimated my physical strength and endurance, but that is normal. I believe in my capabilities. And I continue to open myself to more life, more experiences. I seek support wherever I need it to enrich my life. So this was truly a mystical experience, and Rwenzori's lessons unveil herself to me every day. So let's see which peak I'll be at in the year 2022.
Bravo. Wow. Anne, you inspire me. You make me cry. That's incredible. How incredible. Put your love out there, you guys, for Anne.
Yes.
What an powerful sharing.
That is so beautiful. And I was right there with you. I just felt like I was right there with you the whole way. And to summit, to be one of the summiters, and you had to pull every shred of ounce and will within you, and to get there.
I want to see if I can share that again. I'm going to see if I can share it again.
Yeah.
That's powerful. I'm going to open it up. I want to see the arms expanded. Can you see that?
Yeah. Very good.
And let's zoom in on that beautiful face. I mean, look at the courage and the strength it took you to do that. And strength, not just in, like you said, physical strength, mental strength, emotional strength, spiritual strength. Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
Bravo.
And the
Beautiful.
strength to smile was not easy.
I was interested, though, that you felt an anger. Would you share? Can you elaborate with that, or is that another side conversation?
I could. I was angry at the punishment that Rwenzori had inflicted, that it was never ending. It was, she refused to give us a break. Like, we've been doing this for 5 days, give us a break. It was not coming. So I was very angry at the mountain.
And
how was it to breathe up there?
Very difficult.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the rule is take 3 steps, up to 5 steps, stop, breathe, sip water, another 3-5 steps, stop. So it's very slow.
Can you see why I was so moved by that? And by her personal experience, the part that I think really got me was when she said, well, yes, the way it works is you take 3 steps, maybe 5, and then you stop and you rest and you take a breath. And then you do it again. And then you do it again. How often are we just so ready to give up? Like, I can't do that. I'm worn out. No. Take 3 steps, take a breath, pause, take the next steps. So here's some things that we've got to look forward to in the rest of the month, just so you can be excited that I'm looking forward to. We're going to have As I said, we're going to have some prayers and meditations from some of our students in Kenya. We're going to have a message from our kids in Kenya about the truths that snowflakes teach us, about making snowflakes and what that teaches us about living our lives and creating our lives. We're going to specifically talk about what you can do to sponsor one or more children in the slum school in Britain, and how to do that and how that works and what they need. We're going to have an update on the progress of that school and the projects they're working on now. It's been some time since we've been able to have that. We're going to look at what you can do to support the expansion and evolution of the center in Kenya. We now have 4 people who have finished the practitioner training, passed their panels, and become practitioners. They are beginning their ministerial training. The goal is to have ministers who have trained in Kenya take over the leadership as they become ready and get the training to do that. We currently, CSL Kenya is led by ministers in Canada, and we're going to have a chance to talk to them and hear their vision for CSL Kenya, their excitement, their progress, what's coming up. So that's what we've got to look forward to in the rest of this month. And it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to all of that, and I know you'll enjoy all of it. And I personally am so inspired by the students and the members in Kenya. And part of it's a cultural difference, which is fascinating to me. We often see people from North America, and their first response is, well, I don't agree with that. Why should I believe you? And the students in Kenya are, that's interesting. Tell me more about that. It's so refreshing and welcome. And I often think we need to move into that, where instead of immediately thinking, I don't agree with that, saying, that's interesting. Tell me more about that.